Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Hard Choice, Simple Steps for Showing Up. My name is Brad Draper. I am your host. Welcome to this episode. This episode has been somewhat of a repeating. I've covered it a few times. But it is so important that I need you to internalize it. I need you to really ponder about your life and where you are at in it. What you do on the days you don't want to do anything. How do you move your needle each and every day? How far do you move your needle each and every day? Contrary to popular belief, social media would have you think and believe that you must do grandiose movements each and every day. You must move that needle so far, so gargantuan, that it is a complete difference of your life each and every day. That is not the case. I see this time and time again at the gym. I go into the gym, it's somebody new, and you can typically tell they're new just by their demeanor. But one thing they typically do very often, this is most cases, is they go ballistic. They go bananas at the gym. They do 1,001 reps. They do a bajillion different muscle groups and sets. They do full body movements every day. And they just go crazy because they think they're trying to make up the last however many years in one day. But that's not how this works. That's not how you build. A question that I get asked probably most often compared to every other question is, how long have you been going to the gym? I.e., they want to know the amount of time it takes to look like me. That's what they're asking that for. They're not wondering just out of curiosity how long I've been in fitness or going to the gym. They are trying to figure out the shortest time frame possible to look like me. And then they are severely disappointed when I say 21 years. They look at me like, oh, dang it, I was hoping you were going to say like 6 months. Not even close. I was working out with a friend one time, and I was doing, triple his weight in that movement. And he looked at me and said, how are you doing that with such ease? Because I wasn't really going very heavy or very hard, but it was triple his. And I said, because you've been doing this 1 year and I've been doing it 21 years. In so many different capacities, I've met people that have been doing things for an extended amount of time, but the reality is they have 1 year of experience 10 times over. They've never expanded. They've never grown their mind. Versus, and contrasting, somebody that has truly reinvented how they do things over and over and over. Not doing the same thing repetitively for 21 years. I have done bodybuilding. I have done powerlifting. I have done endurance sports. I have done hypertrophy. I've done pretty much everything you can do in a gym space. And now mix and mingle based off of my goals. And I have different goals every year. And sometimes it's every month or every 2 months or what have you. Right now, I'm trying to build for a PR on deadlift. I've been hitting PRs almost every month. But I have a final goal to get to because I already eclipsed my lifetime goal of 500 pounds. So now I'm shooting for 550 pounds and working towards that. But how important it is to consistently show up and move the needle a little bit. Just one tick, 1 degree. So close that it's not even discernible one day to the next. In fact, it's not discernible 1 month to the next. But 1 year to the next, it becomes discernible. It's been pretty cool. I've had the pleasure and privilege of going to multiple gyms. And it's always a fun experience when I return to a gym that was once my home gym sometime later. So when we moved back to our house earlier this year, I went back to my old home gym. I hadn't been there for a full year. And the number one comment I got was, wow, you're bigger. Wow, you're leaner. Wow, you're stronger. I don't feel like I'm bigger, leaner, or stronger. But to somebody observing from one day to a year later, I got that comment probably 10 times within the first week of coming back to the gym. I never did anything substantial. I just slowly grew, increment by increment, line by line, precept by precept, here a little, there a little. And how important that concept is. In life, we do not get forward by gigantor leaps and bounds. It just doesn't happen. That's a fast way to get burned out. What you need to do is iteration upon iteration. I got to the gym this morning, and today was leg day. It was squat day. I have 2 leg days. I've got a squat day and I have a deadlift day. And today was squat day. Well, my right butt cheek and lower back are still exhausted from my deadlift day 2 days ago. And yesterday was a pretty intense mountain biking day to kind of push blood through, and how fun that was. But today I was exceptionally sore. I was originally going to do front squats. That was my plan. But on the way to the gym, I realized that's probably not the most effective and efficient use of my time today. I'll probably walk away with a more sore back, which will hinder the rest of my workouts this week. That doesn't mean I go do a different muscle group. That doesn't mean I don't go to the gym. I know so many people that say, I'm still really sore from the other day. That probably means I need a recovery day and I just need to sleep. I'm of the opinion that is never the case. I'm of the opinion that you must have a working rest day. If you are exceptionally sore, exceptionally tired, exceptionally fatigued, maybe you just need to do active recovery, which is walking with intention, walking with some pace, maybe on a treadmill, uphill walking, but staying in an aerobic state. But today, I went to the gym and decided to do belt squats to relieve the pressure from my back, but still working my quads primarily. I loved that idea. And instead of doing lunges, which is a lot of hip work, instead of doing Bulgarian split squats, which is a lot of hip work, and keep in mind, my hips are very tired from deadlifts, I did leg press instead. And instead of going for max weight, I did high reps. I did sets of 50. I did alternating each leg, so unilateral or one leg press, to work the muscle groups on a more hypertrophy style. What I'm getting at is I still went to the gym. I still showed up and I still did legs. I still did squats. I just did a different version of squats. I pivoted a little bit based off of what happened in the moment. I didn't react and just say, oh, I'm tired, I'll stay in bed. Or I'm sore, I'm going to go back to bed. I kept the routine. I kept moving forward, especially on the day that I didn't want to. How important that aspect is to keep moving forward, even though you don't want to. It is on those days you need to the most. I want you to think in your life how many times you've done something you really, really didn't want to do, but you did it anyway. How did you feel after? What went through your mind when you finished? Were you disappointed that you showed up, or were you proud of yourself that you showed up? Were you upset that you went, or were you overjoyed that you accomplished it? It's usually the latter. I want you to analyze your life, and I want you to analyze your morning, or whenever you go to the gym, whether it's morning, midday, evening, whatever your routine is. And if you aren't currently going to the gym, I think you should rethink that course. I think, personally, the gym has the closest correlation to perfection. It teaches you humility. It teaches you endurance. It teaches you delayed gratification. It teaches you to move through a process, to create a plan, and then execute that plan, and then watch yourself win. There is almost no greater feeling on this planet that I'm aware of than accomplishing a long-term goal. And there is nothing fast about fitness. There is nothing fast about getting in a particular shape of your desire. I recently saw this, I think she's a singer, but she's been very much so body positivity, morbidly obese. I'm pretty even though I'm fat, basically, is what she would say. And nobody's saying if you're pretty or ugly, we're just saying you're fat. Statement of fact. I recently saw a thing this weekend that she is down a substantial amount of weight and has been going to the gym every day. And I watched videos of her aggressively working out, which is awesome. And that really gave me pause to show the true power of winning the day in fitness. In little by little. I know she did not lose that weight or the weight she's lost so far overnight. This has been a long time coming. In your life, where is your body at? Where are you at with your goals? Are you taking iteration upon iteration, day by day? Are you moving forward methodically? Have you created a plan and then are executing that plan and pivoting when needed? I recognize that most of the time, the plan does not go according to plan. Most of the time, what you have prepared does not actually happen that way. However, you must still have a plan. It is pivoting in that plan that gets you to where you're trying to go. Otherwise, you're merely reacting. And in reacting, you get emotional. You don't think clearly. To put this in perspective, my business partner, my brother, he started an account, a specific type of account, which he had done many times over and has been successful in the past. But this time, he felt like he had to win. It was a requirement. He traditionally gets through that account in a day or two and then goes on to a paid account. And in this case, he lost that account within a matter of hours. Not because the skill isn't there, but because he felt that he needed to do it. He didn't try and do it methodically. He reacted. It was impulsive versus intentional. How impulsive versus intentional are you with your actions? Your day should be planned out. You should know what you're doing each day to some degree. On the 50,000 foot view, maybe not every minute of the day, but you should have a 50,000 foot view of what you're doing. You should have it documented somewhere, some way, somehow. I document mine in my journals. Shameless plug. You should be journaling every day and documenting your journey. Your journey, your experiences, your wins and your failures will be someone's roadmap someday. And that comes from you showing up each day and doing things a little here and a little there. I know you have it in you to keep moving. I know it's hard. It's supposed to be. By design. Most people will never get to where you're trying to go. And that's not due to the inability to do it. Everybody has the ability. Do you have the fortitude, the grit, the endurance to just keep moving forward? My son the other day, and I'll wrap up with this, he asked me, "Dad, who is the strongest man in the world?" I said, "I don't know. Let's go find out." I don't remember who won the world's strongest man. He said, "Well, was it you?" He's 5. I said, "Absolutely not. I am far from the strongest man in the world. I may be pretty strong compared to the people you know, but I'm not the strongest man in the world." So we pulled up the World Strongman competition, and we started watching it. And he loved watching the grit and the endurance. But the person that ended up winning, Mitchell Hooper out of Canada, we watched him do the Atlas Stone carry. And during this carry, it's going down and back about 25 yards or 30 yards each way. And the person that he was competing against in this particular individual race, there were 2-on-2. The person was far ahead of him, moving very, very quickly, and was about 20 yards ahead of the original first place. So he took first place at that point in time. But Mitchell was methodical, one step at a time. Though the stone was falling, he kept going. Most people, once they start to slow down, they just give up and drop it. But that's not what Mitchell did. He went to the line, turned around, and kept going, and got to where it was barely hanging off the ground. And he was sidestepping, inching, until he was about a foot past that other person. He had been doing that for the better part of 20 or 30 yards, but he kept going. It was in that keep going that he ended up winning the title of World's Strongest Man. This is only his second World Strongman debut or presentation. This was his second year competing. The person that he did that against was the 2-time reigning champion. It was his grit. It was his endurance, his determination, and his one step at a time. Think about that in your life. How gritty do you get when it gets really hard? When everything seems to wear down on you, do you keep showing up? Because that's what it's going to take. I love you guys. I'm grateful for you. Share this episode. It's the only way it grows. Leave me a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to it. Like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. Until next week, I love you guys. Bye.